Hello, beautiful divine seekers. I am outside. Spring is coming. We have the new moon in March. It's the beginning of spring and the work is coming. So I'm super thrilled to make this video, even though the topic is a little bit of a difficult one. So there has been a lot of negative energy influence on us. Okay, that's the topic. And I actually made a few videos about this, which I never uploaded because I do not like to focus on negative. We know what you focus on expands. If you focus on negative things, you attract them. We know this. And I'm a person who focuses on the positive, on the light. But nevertheless, I, as well as many people that I know, have been influenced and even attacked by very negative energies recently. And you may have felt this. You may not have felt this. But I know that a lot of you have been wondering what's been going on recently. Why do we go into such negative cycles? Why do we feel such horrible negative influence at times? I feel that because we are ascending. We are truly in the ascension process. If you look everywhere on YouTube, all the light workers, all the readers, all the spiritual teachers are talking about this. We are truly moving into a higher vibration, into a higher density. Mother Earth is ascending. We are ascending. What happens when you ascend into a higher density? That means the negativity has to go. And so I believe negative energies, negative entities, the negative forces, whatever you feel is relevant for you in this frame of reference, they are getting a little bit frantic. They don't have anywhere to go. If we ascend, what happens to them? What happens to the negativity? So I feel that the negative energies are being stirred up. They are getting frantic. They are stronger than before. And if your frame of reference is the dark forces, and yes, I do believe dark forces do exist. Negative entities do exist in the lower astral realms, you know, souls that are trapped, energies that have formed that are negative, they do exist. And yes, they do need life force energy to feed on and live off of. But I don't want you to freak out, because usually if you are a positive person, if you're a person of the light, if you shine your light so bright and you're in a high vibration, they cannot touch you, they cannot latch onto you, they don't have a point of attraction or attachment. Okay, so that's point number one in this video. If you keep your vibration really, really high, if you keep yourself away from prolonged negative emotions like fear and anger and shame and hopelessness, then negative energies, they can't hit you. It's like you're here and they're here. Okay. So why has this been happening to light workers? I feel that for me personally, I'm not perfect. I'm so imperfect, right? I tend to have negative emotions. I have stuff happening in life, and a lot happening lately. So my negative emotions tend to be like anger, and then I feel sorry for myself for a while, and I'm desperate, and it's like a little explosive. And when I get to that place, then negative energies have the chance to attach or to attack or to influence me. Any type of negative energy. And in the last few years, this never ever happened to me, but recently, every time I let myself get down a little bit, then I feel this really intense negative attack from the outside. And this has happened 5, 6, 7 times in the last 3 or 4 months. And this is very, very unusual. So you may ask, okay, but you are protected from all this. You do protective measures, right? We all do protective measures. We've learned it on the internet from our other teachers, the bubble of light, the angels. We bring in the protection. But let me tell you something. This does not work completely, because we are here to exercise our free will and choice, and the universal laws always work. So even if we bring in all our protection, we ask our angels of light for help, we put this protective bubble around us, in the moment of negative feelings, if we let ourselves get angry and ashamed and fearful, if we let ourselves get into the cycle for longer, it's like we are pulling away from the protective light. Okay? I'm going to make another video on this. I'm planning a video to show you exactly what you can do to avoid any kind of negative influence. But this is the gist of it. And I was shown this analogy by my guides. It's like if you are walking on ice. You're walking on ice. Okay? That's thick. Underneath is the dark and above is the light. If you kind of stomp on the ice with your foot, you stomp, 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 and then the ice breaks and you start sinking, all right? You have broken the ice, you let yourself sink, and then the cold water and the darkness and the negativity can get at your feet, and you've made yourself a vulnerable spot. And that's what happens when you get into a prolonged negative cycle. You're actually dissolving that protection of light because you are choosing to get into a low vibration. You're choosing to do this in that moment, and in that moment you are more vulnerable. And that's what's been happening to me. And what's been happening to me is that I felt such intense psychic attack energy whenever I let myself go into a negative, intense cycle for more than 10 minutes. For more than 10 minutes, and it comes. So, in that moment, what I do is I go into deep meditation once I'm aware of this. Once I'm aware, wow, this is happening. I've let myself go down. I'm being psychically attacked. I go into deep meditation. I ask all my team of light to come. And I reject and repel this negative energy completely. And it works. It gets repelled. It gets rejected. But sometimes it leaves me like paralyzed and feeling terrible for hours where I can't even move. And this has happened a few times in the past few months. So the important thing here is to understand that as we are ascending, the negative energies are frantic. And the more you shine your light, if you're a light worker that is shining your light more and more, what usually happens if your light is strong and hot, if you're in a positive vibration, yeah, you may attract more negative forces, but what happens? They sizzle. If they are attracted to you, they burn like moths in a flame. That's what I was shown. So I've talked to people who are afraid to shine their light because they do not want to attract negative energies or entities, but that is wrong. If you shine your light and you are strong, they will sizzle, they will burn, nothing can touch you. But if you shine your light bright, if you're a light worker who's shining your light brighter and brighter, and if you're watching this, you are a light worker. Okay, you are. I know it, you are. So believe me, you're shining your light bright and you let your energy drop down into a negative spiral. But, you know, the focus is still on you. And in that moment of very low vibration where you have chosen to release the protection, you have chosen to turn away from the light for a moment, from the positivity, that's when the attack can occur, and that's when negativity can latch onto you in that moment. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening, and that's what's happened to me lately, especially in the last couple of weeks and even the last few months. So I just want you to be, first of all, be really aware of how you're feeling and of how you are letting yourself get into any negative thought cycle of anger, shame, guilt, despair, any type of negative feeling that you have. So I want you to first of all be very aware. Walk every day with the awareness. It's okay to have a little bit of an angry episode or a little bit of a feeling, but don't let yourself get down that you forget everything else, that you kind of, that you tune out, because that's the moment that you're vulnerable. And that's the moment that negativity can get a hold of you. So that's the first step, okay? The second step is, if you are aware that you're in a negative cycle, if you're aware, if you're letting yourself get into a negative cycle, in that moment, call on your angels and guides to help you keep your vibration at a level that is not open, where you are not too vulnerable, where you still have your protection. Okay, I know it's difficult, but I've done this in the last few days. I've tried to be very aware that in the moment of something negative, of anger, of negative emotion, of something happening that distracts me, where I'm like, oh, that I'm still awake and aware, that I am observing myself in the moment. And of course, if you do a regular meditation practice, you know how to observe your mind, how to observe your thoughts. And I've practiced this in the last few days, and it's worked because I felt already a negative cycle coming on, and I felt something happening, and I could stop it by my awareness and by keeping my vibration up and asking for protection, calling my grid of archangels out in that very moment. So I just wanted to make this little video. If you've been feeling this, that you're not alone, that it is a real thing, but it's nothing to be afraid of or freaked out about. It's nothing to stop you from shining your light. And I am working on a video with instructions that you can do. I will go through with you through the exercise of what you can do to ward off any negativity and to keep your vibration high and to keep yourself protected. Because just once in a while saying, oh, the bubble of light, or even in the beginning of the day saying, oh, the bubble of light, the protection, in the moment when you go down into a negative cycle with your emotions and thoughts, that bubble is not going to work in the moment, because you're breaking it. You're breaking that protection in that moment. Okay? So, as you can see, I'm still alive and well. When these things happen to me, I react really fast. I get out of it, but I just don't want to be in a bad state for hours and hours where I can just lie on my bed and try to recover after I've repelled all this stuff. So I want to walk in happiness and safety and security all day long, all the time, like you see me now. So stay tuned for that video, okay? Watch out for it. In the next few days, I'm going to publish that for your own safety and protection, and to keep yourself stable and harmonious in these times. And one last comment. I believe that the discussion about Doreen Virtue or other spiritual leaders who have completely turned around and gone to very single-minded belief systems, or who have, you know, turned to Christianity or any other religion exclusively. I feel a lot of light workers have been attacked recently and have not been able to ward it off, and have lost their belief in their own ability to connect to the light and be a spiritual open person. And a lot of people have turned to religion because they feel it's safer there. So I don't want you to start being afraid and start thinking that you cannot connect, be open, shine your light, channel your guides, or any of that, because there's a way to do this safely, and you have to know how. Okay, so I hope that made sense. I know I've rambled on a little too long in this video, but yeah, I wanted to connect with you in this way. Thank you so much for being with me on this channel. I really appreciate your support and your comments and your love, and I'm sending it all back to you. Mwah, and ciao for now.